Mr. Calvin Young, President of the graduating class of 2018, will address the audience.
Distinguished President of the University of Nevada, Mr. Jose Beñaz, Dean Franz Heukamp, members of the faculty of IESE, family members, and most importantly, the IESE graduating class of 2018. I still remember the first day of orientation week almost 2 years ago when I walked into North Campus and started meeting all of you. As I learned about all your backgrounds and life stories, I thought to myself, wow, I have nothing in common with these people. I remember hearing about everybody's vast experiences and comparing them with my own. The Chinese doctor with 4 patents, the Peruvian who owned a nightclub, the German who drove cruise ships, the Indian whose family owns the largest poultry business in India. I was both incredibly impressed and intimidated. Little did I realize that over the course of these 2 short years, just how close we would all get. On the surface, we all came here for different reasons, but we're more alike than it first appears. Whether it was intentional or not, we all came here to change ourselves a little. And whether we realize it or not, I think we've all changed in our own way. We learned to work in multicultural teams, both inside and outside the classrooms. We balanced the never-ending invitations to career sessions, country dinners, guest speakers, sports events, and treks. And we understood better how we deal with new experiences under multiple dimensions of constraints. Most importantly, I think we've progressed in the way of making decisions. None of this could have been possible without the presence of each and every member of the class of 2018. You brought your years of experience, your compassion and empathy, your unique points of view, your varied skills, and shared them generously with each other. It took bravery to put your life on hold for 2 years to come to IESE, enable each of us to grow and learn. So thank you to all of you. Thank you to the lawyers who enlightened us to their persuasive reasoning. Thank you to the mothers who brought children into this world in the middle of an MBA and still managed to fulfill all their responsibilities. Thank you to the consultants that showed us how to present in a structured way. Thank you to the fathers who temporarily left their children back home to bring us their experiences. Thank you to the marketers that inspired us with their creativity. Thank you to the locals who showed us the wonders of this city, the food, the culture, and the customs. Thank you to the engineers who recounted what it was really like working in industrial settings. And thank you also to the partners and family members that stuck with us throughout the ordeal and continually offered their unconditional support. Beyond growing and learning, what our class has created here is an incredibly supportive and tight-knit group. I've told many people before that I've never felt as comfortable or as true a part of a community as I have here at IESE. Looking back, I have no doubt I chose the right school to attend. Sure, you learn how to analyze a P&L or perform a SWOT analysis in any MBA, but the little things are what made the difference here. I saw it every day over the last 2 years. A classmate got into a major traffic accident, and his Spanish roommate didn't think twice about spending days on end sorting out insurance and hospitals for him. Another classmate with multiple interviews in 1 week could rely on her teammates to fill her in on what she missed in class. When a close family member of a classmate passed away, her friends were right there beside her as much or as little as she needed. When I was working as co-president for Spring Games and was overwhelmed by requests from other schools to the point of exhaustion, the rest of the executive committee swooped in and had my back, no questions asked. This sense of community is unique to IESE, and I hope we remember this as we leave, and seek ways to not only keep that sense of community, but to share it with others. The world is full of beautiful, diverse, and distant people. As a Canadian, I've always been proud of my country's reputation for being incredibly open and accepting. And before coming to IESE, I thought that stereotypes were always negative and showed a lack of cultural sensitivity. However, over the last 2 years, due to the 58 countries that we have represented here, my mind's been expanded in ways I never had the humility to imagine. I've learned that stereotypes can actually be used to understand the values and ways of life of people from cultures different than your own, as long as you're cognizant not to generalize or draw simple conclusions. If we utilize stereotypes properly as a tool, understanding our differences will actually lead us to see the similarities. Of course, putting people from 58 countries in a bubble like the MBA would give us our fair share of laughs about each other's behaviors at the beginning. I've literally had the bread struck out of my hand by a Spanish teammate because I was taking bites instead of ripping pieces off. A Japanese classmate ducked and ran away when an American friend tried to give him a hug for his birthday. All the Italians were flabbergasted by the blasphemous ways pasta is prepared and served in the rest of the world. Remember, no chicken in pasta. Despite situations like these, we soon realize that at the root of it, we're all just humans, albeit in different contexts, spending time with the people we like and doing the things we love. German punctuality shows deep respect for the time of others, but Spanish flex time allows each person to decide how much time to devote to activities they love. Canadian politeness makes for friendly working relationships, yet Scandinavian directness provides clarity of intentions. Japanese organization produces high-quality projects and events, and Mexican hospitality puts on parties that make you feel right at home. While our methods may be different, we're all just humans living and helping each other on this planet. As we embark on this next part of our journey, I urge you to bring this thinking into the world. We must remember to try to understand people from their unique perspectives. And at the same time, we ourselves also have our own opinions and behaviors that differ from others, and others will be trying to understand us. While we may have become close to each other at IESE, it's impossible not to recognize that as MBAs, we represent a privileged subset of society. Throughout the last 2 years, we've discussed hundreds upon hundreds of cases, absorbed as much business knowledge as we could, and even put some of those learnings to test in our internships last summer. As a result, many of us feel laden with knowledge and talent. Yet we must carry ourselves with humility and compassion as we return to the real world. We may have learned, some of us better than others, how to put together an income statement and manage a balance sheet. But business is far more than numbers. It's about the interaction of people. People with hopes and fears, failures and successes, and talents and needs. It's important to remember that as we take up our careers, we'll be making decisions that have potential impact on the lives of real people, both seen and unseen. Remember to think carefully about this impact when deciding on courses of action. Be careful as you go on to your inevitable success, not to isolate yourselves from the struggles of socioeconomic ethnic, and geographic divisions. Instead, I urge you to use this knowledge, talent, and someday money to work to reduce these divisions. We came to IESE not only with a mark to make, but a positive mark to make. As you go on to make this mark, you'll struggle with immense pressures and tough decisions on a day-to-day basis. Sometimes it'll get tiring and frustrating, and you might even feel hopeless. When that happens, think back on your time here at IESE. Think of everything you've been through. Remember the times when you coached each other through interviews instead of becoming competitors, and the times when you supported each other through difficult life events. Lean on and involve your classmates. If Christina and I have one goal, it's to keep us connected, so that in these moments of need and opportunity, we continue supporting each other just as we've done here. All of the growing and learning from each other that's happened over the last 2 years at IESE will continue. Stay close to your friends, colleagues, and professors. If we do so, the education and the adventure of IESE doesn't have an end. Today won't be goodbye, but see you soon. So dearest class of 2018, thank you for everything these past 2 years, and above all, congratulations.